Hey there, welcome to Cups and Conversation. I'm so glad that you have decided to tune in. Remember, you can always subscribe. I would love that to get the inside scoop on what's happening and just thoughts that I'm having for the day. Well, today my cup is something that means a lot to me, but it definitely has a story. This is a Las Vegas cup. My sister went on a trip to Las Vegas, and when she came back, she brought me a mug. And I loved this mug. It was wonderful. It held heat like no other cup did. You couldn't put it in the microwave because, as you can see, it's got a little bit of that gold on it. So you can't heat it up in the microwave, but it still really made an impression. And it's just a stunning cup. Well, one day one of my kids was washing dishes in the sink, and guess what happened? My sweet little mug broke. The handle just broke right off of this mug, and I was distraught about this. And my husband was trying to make me happy, and so he hunted high and low to find me another cup that comes from Las Vegas. And so he found me this cup. It's a little different from my original cup that I had, but I still love it just the same. And so that's the story of this cup. It's a beauty. Well, you might be wondering, or maybe you're not, but if you're tuning in, I'm assuming you might be wondering what I have been doing for the last couple of months that I haven't been doing my cups and conversation. Well, so much has gone on, so I thought I would do a recap and a regroup on what I've been doing with myself. First thing is I have moved 3 times in the last 5 months. 3 times. I have seen my share of boxes, tape, bubble wrap, paper, newspaper, junky food, and I'm over it. I'm over it. I don't recommend this to anybody to move this many times, but we have done it 3 times. And my children are definitely over it as well. The next thing that I've been doing is enrolling all of my children in public school. As you know, I've previously homeschooled all of my children. I enrolled them and I was so excited at the end of last school year to put them in school, but suddenly the pandemic happened and they were home again after only being enrolled in school for 1 week. 1 week. So they were home again trying to figure that out and make that work. So we went through kind of the crazy busy summer. We moved back to my home state, and now we're kind of getting settled in, but I had to re-enroll all of my children in a new state, in a new school, in a new program. And so that took its toll. School has just recently begun. We're now in finished week 2 of virtual homeschool because schools are still not meeting in person because of COVID-19. And I have to say that it has been quite the challenge getting them set up on all these devices, all 4 of my children at the same time and being on time. So that has been a huge challenge, and I'm sure some of you have had the same experience. I would love to kind of hear some of y'all's experience from the different states that you're in. So some of the things that have happened in the past 5 months that would be disappointments or high points. So I'll start with the disappointments. This might seem trivial to a lot of people, but I would have to say no library. That's one of the things as a homeschool mom that I did frequently. I was always at the library. And so not having to go to the library physically or not being able to and not being able to check out books and stuff, you can order them online and check them out and have them home, but it's not the same as going to the library and checking your books out. And I'm one of those moms that like to sit on the floor, crisscross applesauce, and look through all the books and see which ones my kids would love. That's me. And my kids are the same way. And so we weren't able to do that, and we still haven't been able to do that. So that's kind of a disappointment. The next kind of disappointment is the lack of communication and information from the school system. And I think that is just in large because they don't know what to do. And this is kind of a new thing for them as well. So, just as new as it is for them, it's even newer for parents. And so, that has been a big disappointment. Um, the next thing, a job search, trying to find a job. That is a challenge. I haven't had to do that in quite some time. So, looking for a job and seeming like it's going nowhere is very frustrating. With all these disappointments, there are a few high notes. A few high notes. I would say moving closer to my family. I have been away from my family for 13 years. And so it has been really nice being close to my sister and my parents and visiting and seeing some of my other family members. So that has really been a joy. And my kids get to see their family and their cousins, and they get to have that daily interaction. So that's been really great. Um, the fact that my kids get to be home, even though we're in public school, we're still at home all together. And so this gives us yet another opportunity to communicate and see how they're feeling about the transition that's happening in their life as well as my own. And we have more time for meaningful conversation. Just because we're in close proximity and we're always together. um, so those are some of the high notes that I've found as doing all this moving and transitioning. Well, I want to leave you, of course, with some scripture that is going to be helpful for today, but also every day because God is so good. And this is going to be found in Psalm 121, and it's going to be verse 1, 2, and 8. It says, I look up to the mountains. Does my help come from there? My help comes from the Lord who made the heavens and the earth. Verse 8, the Lord keeps watch over you as you come and go, both now and forever. And I love that because the Lord is keeping watch over us, even through all this transition and moving and virtual school and pandemic and wearing masks and all of that. The Lord is still there with you and he's still watching over you. And so that is what I want to make clear more than anything. Well, I hope you have an excellent day and I'll see you soon.